too. We've got a takedown right off the bat for Brant Pitlick as he's taking on Wyatt Himes from Anamosa.
Well, Jamie, we saw Mount Vernon wrestle very, very well against West Delaware, picking up that win. And they're looking to continue their momentum through this duel. And Anamosa will have their hands full here as the matchups will not go in their favor here. Only a couple will. Tyler Frazier will be favored at 195 for the Raiders. Randy Von Barren will be favored at 160. And other than that, the Raiders will not be favored in any matches, so they will really have to wrestle well. Again, we're at weight class 152, and this is Pitlick for Mount Vernon doing a nice job with a cross body ride on Himes. He's got a cross body ride with the left. He puts the double leg in. Now a power half Nelson on the left, and he's going to crank Himes to his back, and he's picking up some near fall. The length of Pitlick. Now it goes around the head. This could be a fall. There's the fall in 130. Brant Pitlick for Mount Vernon. Cross body ride. Power half Nelson. I'm not kidding you. That was tight as Himes is down on the mat. That power half Nelson. Himes is holding that left deltoid as Pitlick put the pressure on and cranked that over. And Himes is not feeling very good as he goes down to the fall. And Mount Vernon will take a 12-0 lead after two. And we'll go up to 160 and Anamosa. This should be a pretty good match here as Jake Weiland for Mount Vernon taking on Randy Von Barren for Anamosa. Von Barren having if I remember correctly, he caught fire last year at the Walmack tournament and won some really good matches and carried that over and had a very, very good end of the season coming up just short. I believe he was a district qualifier coming up short a couple of points for qualifying for the state meet. So he's got the talent, he's got the potential, and right now standing in his way is Jake Wheeland. Wheeland, again, one of those fine seniors, and Wheeland's not going to do much. He's got a very, very nice double leg takedown, and we saw him use that against Alex Reitz. And he gets in on that double leg takedown and can really score effectively with it. He's very basic. He's in right now on a fireman's carry, and he dumped Von Barren to his side. That was very, very nicely done as he kept that left elbow tight and circled away from that elbow, went into the crotch and did a nice job with that fireman's carry. There's a nice roll, nice sit-out turn-in roll by Von Barren, and this thing is tied up at deuces as both these wrestlers showing some very, very good skills here as this match is underway. First period, 35 seconds left to go, and we are knotted at twos. A takedown by Himes, a takedown by Van Barren. Let's go back one more time. A takedown by Wheeland and a reversal by Von Barren. I'm going to get this right, Jamie.
You got it, finally.
I'm going to get it right.
And now a one-point escape for Wheeland.
There you go. So Jake Wheeland for Mount Vernon takes a 3-2 lead, and that was with short time. That was with 12 seconds left. He picked up that escape, and as a coach, Jamie, that's one thing that will give you a lot of gray hairs, and it's very frustrating. You talk about scoring points with no time, with short time left in the period. You certainly don't want to give up points. If you're riding on top, you don't want to give up points.
Well, you don't, and especially late in the period. 15 seconds left to go, and you gave up that late escape when you had the match right where you wanted it at that point. You gave up a takedown, but you got a reversal, and now you're gonna, and that's great by Von Barren. I tell you what, 4 seconds, and he was out with a 1-point escape, and 3 more seconds, and he's got a 2-point takedown. That's the kind of motor you like to see out of your senior.
Well, that's the skill level he does have. It's just a matter of seeing that all the time. Now he's got a double chicken wing in on Wheeland. He's going to crank Wheeland over to his back. Wheeland came to a short sit out and left his elbows behind, and that made it easy for Von Barren to lock up that double chicken wing. Got to be careful here as he tried to run that straight over the back, and that loosened up the left arm for Wheeland to work his left arm out, but it's going to be a 2-point near fall for Von Barren. Now a stand up for Wheeland, and he's going to pick up a 1-point escape. So quite a match. This is the match we thought it would be, as Wheeland, one of the seniors from Mount Vernon, Wheeland trying to shoot that double leg takedown. Von Barron does a nice job sprawling and getting his feet back and his legs back away from the grip and the arms. There's a headlock attempt by Wheeland. Let's see if he can hit it. There's a roll through by Von Barron. Von Barron will pick up a 2-point defensive takedown there as Wheeland tried to hit him in a headlock. And as Von Barron came down to the mat, he kept his momentum going and just rolled Wheeland through. Now a tight waist by Von Barron with the right. He's got a head lever with the left, and he's going to try to roll that left arm out to a bar. He's got it sunk in deep. Now a chicken wing by Von Barron, and Wheeland wiggles that arm free, and Von Barron will have to go back to work. 23 seconds left to go. Second period, our score is 9-4. Our meet score is 12-0 in favor of the Mustangs. The Red Raiders, or the Blue Raiders, with a nice crowd here tonight. There's a sit-out, turn-in, stand-up.
Again, with 10 seconds left to go, gave up another escape here. It's going to make it 9-5. But I tell you what, the way Randy Von Barron wrestled in that second period, I tell you what, go back to work, young man. He's been doing great here in that second period.
Well, it was a good period, and that's what you would expect out of your senior. You got two seniors going at it right here, and this is the match that we thought it would be. Two very, very good seniors, very technically sound. There's a nice stand-up by Wheeland, and Von Barron just basically shoves him free. So we're going to settle this match on our feet. Wheeland tries to drop in on a double. There's a headlock attempt by Wheeland, and Von Barron rolls through.
Now let him go. Let him throw you in a headlock and do it again, because that's worked twice now.
I'll tell you what, Wheeland had that headlock tight. And I'll tell you what, when he brought him down, he didn't post, and that made it easy for Von Barron just to lock up and roll him through. And now a stand-up attempt by Wheeland. He gets up to his feet. Von Barron's going to try to drop in on a single, and Wheeland's going to split the hands and turn to face Von Barron, and it's going to be a one-point escape. Back to our feet we go. Von Barron now with the front headlock. He's going to try to throw Wheeland with the front headlock. Here comes the headlock attempt. That's the third headlock attempt by Wheeland. At some point, Jamie, you're going to have to go to something else.
You might try a shot. You know, it's like you said, that's the third headlock attempt, and we've seen Randy Von Barron come out on all three of them so far. So nice job by Von Barron. You know, obviously, you know he's going to do it at this point, but being able to feel that after with the first couple to be able to come in and pick up 3 takedowns off of it.
Now an inside wrist on the right, a half Nelson on the left by Von Barron. He tries to throw Wheeland on his back. Now a half Nelson on the right, inside wrist on the left. He's working side to side with those pinning combinations. He pulls Wheeland forward and tries to dump him on his back with a half. 21 seconds left to go, and the senior from Anamosa is in good shape right here. Side roll and the high leg over attempt by Wheeland, and nicely countered again by Von Barron. He's got some good skills. Got a lot of balance, nice hips, and I'll tell you what, Jamie, you got to give Alex Reitz a feather in his cap tonight for pinning both of these guys, for beating both of these guys.
Yeah, you do. And Reitz, you know, that's a 13-7 win for Von Barron, and that's after he got into a little bit of trouble to start that match, but he picks up the win and he gets the Raiders on the board. It's going to be 12-3 now in favor of Mount Vernon.
So that's an outstanding match by two quality wrestlers, and we will probably see those two go at it again in a week. Tell you what, a week from Saturday, it's all going to happen at Western Dubuque. The Walmack tournament, the 2015 Walmack tournament, will be hosted by the Bobcats at Western Dubuque, and that will be quite a meet. You will have to get there early to get a good seat. There is some outstanding wrestlers in the Walmack this year, some quality teams. It's just going to, Jamie, I'm looking forward to that. It's just going to be a fun day of wrestling.
It really is. And, you know, you talk about quality meets. We saw one last week at Cedar Rapids, Jefferson, and the week before at Benton Community. And there's just great wrestling all around. I read an article today, 74 ranked wrestlers at the Ed Winger Classic in Urbandale this weekend. That's unheard of to have that many wrestlers. You're going to have number ones and number twos, top 10 ranked guys wrestling in the semifinal, possibly even the quarterfinal round of that tournament. I mean, that's just unreal. But, you know, that Walmack tournament, a lot of quality competition in there as well.
Yeah, and last year we counted the number of state qualifiers and state place winners from the WAMAC. I believe there was 34, and we will tally that up again this year in the classes. Well, we're back to action here at weight class 160. Weight class 1. A fall for Sam Dolan. That closes the gap. It's 12-9, still in favor of the Mount Vernon Mustangs. Now we're going to go to weight class 182, and we have Dylan Wood, the junior from Anamosa, taking on Sam Moore, the sophomore. This may be. I'll tell you what. Good scramble. Good. He gets a little bit high, and Dylan Wood tries to pull his right leg underneath and roll through. Now Cox goes out and slaps a cradle on Wood, and it is tight. He's got Dylan Wood on his back. Could be a fall. A referee's looking close for the fall, and he's going to roll out of it. Wood's going to roll out of it. It's going to be a 2-point near fall, 3-point near fall for Cox.
Should tie it up here 6-6. So nice job there by Dylan Wood. Not giving up the fall there. As that cradle was tight. Now he's got a cradle of his own locked up. You just got to try to be careful here and not get too high.
Well, he's getting a little bit of high, but he steps over the body of Bryce Cox and puts a cross body right in, so Cox won't roll him through. Might be potentially dangerous right there, and it is. Our official stops it. 2 seconds left. We are knotted up at 6s on the scoreboard. What a match this is.
And now, again, if you're Dylan Wood, be careful here. Don't give up that late escape here. You got 2 seconds left to ride Cox out, and he's going to do that. So nice job there, battling back and getting back in this match by Dylan Wood.
And it's going to be Bryce Cox's choice to start the second, and he's going to defer. Oh, wow. So Dylan Wood will take up to start the second period. It's an interesting choice, but he knows where he feels comfortable. There's a stand-up by Cox. He's going to get to his feet. Dylan Wood, there's going to be warning against Wood. That's going to be a 1-point escape. So now Cox takes the early lead in the second period, 7-6. There's Bryce Cox. Tell you what, he's locked up in a bear hug on Dylan Wood, and he just crunches Dylan Wood to his back. There's the fall. He stepped in and locked up that bear hug, and Dylan Wood had nowhere to go but to his back, and that made it easy as he just squeezed and took the wind right out of Dylan Wood. And that puts 6 more on the Mustangs' side, making the score 18-9. So the Mustangs have doubled up on the Raiders after weight class 182. Now we're going to see Tyler Frazier for Anamosa at 195 taking on this John Boots.
Yep.
This is John Boots from Mount Vernon. And Tyler Frazier, very impressed with him. Again, he's got a great build for a wrestler. Low center of gravity. Got good hips. There's a nice double leg, a single. Cuts across to a double. Drives Boots over to his backside. Covers his hips up. Picks up the 2. And then drives him off the edge of the mat. So we've got to get a restart. Tyler Frazier, a senior for Coach Dean Miller and the Anamosa Raiders. The Blue Raiders. All right, there's the whistle. Tight waist by Frazier in deep. Tight waist with the right. Nice chop with the left. And he's got Boots off on his left side. He might try to stack him up here. Now he steps over to the right side. Might have a ball and chain. Working a ball and chain. This time with his left. Looking for a half Nelson or an inside wrist with the right. He's going to try to stack him up. And Boots frees that arm. Boy, I like that ball and chain, Jamie. And Frazier gave that up pretty easily.
Yeah, he really did. And, you like it, and it's a move where you've got so many options to run with it, and you're going to see one right there. You can stack them up. You can go to a tilt from there. You can use that ball and chain to go to a chicken wing on that side or lock up a half Nelson on. I mean, there's just so many options you can do. So, if you don't get it right away, stick with it because there's so many other things. The guy goes to block one and opens up another. So there's so many options there when you've got that ball and chain series locked up.
Well, plus it wears on your opponent because you can keep all your weight forward and keep his head and shoulders down, just like Frazier's doing right there. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you. And Frazier doing a nice job. This time he switches off, goes right back to an inside wrist, lets the ball and chain go, goes to an inside wrist on the left with 13 seconds left to go. Hard, tight waist now with the right. Chop with the left, inside wrist with the left, and Frazier's going to be content to ride Boots out. And we're going to go the second period with Frazier up 2-0. Now we're going to get a stalling call against Boots for going belly down. And it's going to be Frazier's choice. He's going to defer over to Boots, and Boots is going to go neutral. John Boots with a heavily bandaged and wrapped left knee. And we're going back to neutral here.
Like to see Frazier go back at it here and go to work on his feet. That first takedown came so easy for him. Like to see him go back to that attack on the offense here while you're on your feet.
Yeah, he's got his first 2 steps are very, very quick, and as low center of gravity as he's got it makes it very, very easy off the edge of the mat. And Boots is going to have at least a half to a full head height advantage on Frazier. And see if he can use that to his advantage. Back to action we go. Hard collar tie by Frazier, retie by Boots. And Frazier's going to give him a shove loose, a shove free there. Retie, there's a nice snap down attempt by Frazier. High crotch, he's in deep, cuts across to a double off the edge of the mat. Boots launches Frazier off the edge of the mat. And Coach Miller saying, hey, you got to watch the throw. And Jamie, that would have been on the center of the mat. Frazier would have been in a world of hurt. 1:10 left to go, second period. If you're just joining us, Wamack action. The third duel of tonight's meet. We had West Delaware and Mount Vernon battle the first go around, and West Delaware taking on Anamosa. And now we're going to finish it with the host Raiders taking on the Mustangs. And a nice high crotch by Frazier. Nice down block by Boots. And off the edge of the mat as Frazier drives in and tries to cut across to a double. Boots gets up a little slow, limping on that left leg. Heavily bandaged knee brace on that left leg. 50 seconds left to go. Our dual meet is 18-9. Our dual meet score in favor of the Mustangs. Mustangs trying to go 2-0 on this night. Jamie, I'm not sure who's leading the Wamak East in wrestling.
I would have to think Independence.
Independence?
Yeah.
Okay. So although Western Dubuque did take them down,
but they're on the west, correct?
Is Independence on the west?
No, Independence is on the east side.
Independence on the east this year?
Okay.
With the addition of South Tama?
What's that? Oh, they are in the west. Okay, I got you. Yeah, so Western Dubuque. I don't think Western Dubuque has lost a dual meet.
Okay. So Western Dubuque leading the east side of the Wamak. There's a nice double leg takedown by Frazier. He's going to cover the hips of Boots, and that gets the Raider crowd and our AWC, the Anamosa Wrestling Club, little guys, gets them all excited. All right, we're going to go neutral to start the third. It's 4-0. Surprised Frazier didn't choose down here and pick up one and then two as quick as his first couple of steps are. Nice shuck, boy. A lot of nice hand fighting. There's that high crotch by Frazier. There's a bear hug by Frazier. He's going to back up Boots. Going to cover the hips and pick up two.
So I got it figured out. John, Independence is on the east. West Delaware and West Dubuque are on the west. It's 8-8 again.
Okay.
Because when we wrestle them, we go, it's cross conference. Yeah.
So Independence is on the west?
Yes.
Okay. West Delaware. Okay, very good. Even with the addition of South Tama in there, South Tama was just added that. They made the 16th team, I think, so it really didn't change the west side. All right. Okay, there's that ball and chain by Frazier. It's in deep. He's got the left arm of Boots. Now here comes that tilt, Jamie. You talked about that option, and Frazier's got Boots in a tilt.
I think just 2-1 counts is all he got there.
Not going to pick up any points. Nice spiral ride by Frazier. 1:18 left to go in the third period. And 6-0 right here. And Jamie, if you're Tyler Frazier, I'm thinking as easy as those takedowns were, you're expending a lot of energy up on top and no back points to show for it yet. You might consider letting them go and picking up a couple of takedowns and working on a major decision.
Yeah, and like you just mentioned, we mentioned it earlier, those takedowns have come pretty easy for Tyler Frazier. So you got to go back to work here. And, you always mention this. You're expending a lot of energy on top right now, because Boots he's not working up. He does have a stalling warning against him. So, that you may get a point coming up here soon because Boots really not keeping his head off the mat right now.
Well, we've got 30 seconds, and for 40 seconds, Frazier's been on top riding with no points to show for it. And I'll tell you what, this is how this match probably going to end with 20 seconds left. Boots is belly down. Now Frazier tries to pick him up. Inside wrist, hard cross face by Frazier. Another hard cross face. And now our referee's going to call Tyler Frazier for throwing that haymaker from right field to left, right across the cheekbone of John Boots. But, Jamie, that's just a little frustration on Frazier's part. You let him go and take him down a couple of times, and then you have an opportunity. There's that chicken by Frazier. As Boots tried to come with the stand-up, Frazier's going to try to run it. Got an inside wrist on the right, chicken wing on the left, and that's going to do it as Boots takes a face full of Resolite. Frazier's going to win that match 6-1. That's just a solid match for the senior from Anamosa, and we'll see more of him in about a week. All right, we're going to move up to weight class 220. Spencer Heinrichsen for Anamosa taking on Matt. Is this Matt Wenzel?
Yep.
Is it Matt Wenzel? Okay. A good match in the making here as Anamosa closes the gap to 6. It's 18-12 right now. So Heinrichsen could do the job here for the Raiders with a fall and get the Raiders back into this thing.
Right now we're at 3-3 on the dual meet as Mount Vernon received a forfeit at weight class 145, 152. Brant Pitlick pinning Wyatt Himes of Anamosa. 160. Randy Von Buren winning 13-7. Sam Dolan from Anamosa picked up a fall at 170. And Dylan Wood from Anamosa was pinned by Bryce Cox in 2 minutes and 21 seconds at 182 and 195. Tyler Frazier with that 6-1 win has their score 18-12 in favor of Mount Vernon.
And there's a 2-point takedown by Wenzel as he does a nice job crowding Heinrichsen and just attacks the legs and just keeps the pressure on and just keeps attacking. Again, there's a side roll by Heinrichsen, and Wenzel's going to pick up a two count near fall there as Heinrichsen tried to come to a side roll and did not finish it, and Wenzel stopped him and picked up the 2 count for a 2-point near fall and a 4-0 lead. And he's going back to work, this time on the right side. He's got the left arm of Heinrichsen trapped across the body, now hard crossface by Wenzel. Tries to go crossface the far arm. Sit out turning now by Heinrichsen. He traps the right leg of Wenzel. Now he turns in, picks up the left leg for a 2-point reversal. That's a nice job by the big guy from Anamosa as he picks up the 2-point reversal. Now he's trying to work a butcher on Wenzel. He's got the left arm of Matt Wenzel trapped across his body, and now he's trying to throw him to his back. Heinrichsen with a lot of height, a lot of length, a lot of leverage. Now inside stand up by Wenzel. Front trip by Heinrichsen. A switch attempt by Wenzel. He's going to pick up a 2-point reversal with 3 seconds left to go. And that's how our first period is going to end. So a very entertaining first period here by a couple of really good 220-pounders. Wenzel's choice is going to defer over to Heinrichsen, and Heinrichsen will take neutral. Wenzel a little deceptive there, Jamie. Not real muscular upper body, but he certainly is fairly quick and he's got pretty good balance.
Well, I thought, coming out here, watching Heinrichsen wrestle against West Delaware at 220, I think it's Cooper Weeks, I thought watching him come out here against Wenzel as, thinking it was a match he probably might have in the bag. But you know what? I tell you, he's very deceiving, like you said.
Heinrichsen trying to use his leverage, trying to front headlock on Wenzel. Wenzel does a nice job. There's a long double shot by Heinrichsen. Nice down block by Wenzel. There's a little bit of that quickness that we talked about. Nice down block by Wenzel as he threw his legs back, laces down, and scooted himself away from Heinrichsen. And now they're back to neutral position. 2-on-1 Russian tie by Wenzel. He's got the left arm of Heinrichsen trapped. And let's see what he can do with that. Heinrichsen drops in on a double, and off the edge of the mat we go. I like Heinrichsen's aggressiveness, shooting in on Wenzel. Not afraid to let it rip here.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. You've got yourself in a close match, and you don't know when it's going to pay off. You got to come up here though as he dives in on a low single off the whistle. But you've got to come up and finish that. He got down there and he sat, and it allowed Wenzel to kick out and get off the edge of the mat.
Oh, that was a very, very nice low single by Heinrichsen. Got to the laces of Wenzel and set him down, but as you said, Jamie, could not climb the body, and that's that quickness of Wenzel. Showing some little bit of giddy up in that Mustang singlet tonight.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I'd like to see Heinrichsen go back to that leg attack that we saw, in the match before, and that one we just saw before they went out of bounds a little bit ago. But just get back on your offense here, because right now Wenzel, he's got a 6-2 lead. He's not going to show any urgency here to score any points.
There's a shuck attempt by Wenzel and nicely countered by Heinrichsen as he squares off and faces Wenzel. Wenzel content to hang on to that left arm of Heinrichsen. Heinrichsen snaps him down, or Wenzel snaps him down. It's going to be a 2-point takedown. And that was Heinrichsen getting out of position right there, and Wenzel taking advantage. Again, Jamie, what was there, 4 or 5 seconds left, and Wenzel picked up the 2.
You got a lot of work to do now if you're Spencer Heinrichsen. You're down 8-2, got to start the third period, and you're on top. So you got to go to work and work on your offense on the top.
And Wenzel will get set. Heinrichsen will ride the left side. I'm not sure that Wenzel's going to be in any big hurry to do much. We'll find out here as Heinrichsen tries to set up a far side cradle. And tell you what, that was a nice job by Wenzel. He got his hips up, and Heinrichsen fell over the top. and Wentzel just covered him up, and Heinrichsen gets up and slaps the mat. Heinrichsen reached over and tried to set up a far side cradle, lost his balance, and Wentzel just got his hips up, and that was it. And Heinrichsen had nowhere to go but off to the side, and Wentzel covered him up and scored the fall. It's 24-12 again. The Mustangs have doubled up the Raiders again. So we got two of the big guys right here.
And you were right before. John corrected me on the last name.
I think he told me that before.
Yeah, you were right. I was wrong.
Tanjis. So that's okay.
That's what I get for not listening to you.
So Colby Tanjis taking on Tristan Wirfs. I'll tell you what, here's a couple of peas in a pod. This is going to throw or be thrown right here with, I'll tell you what, an over and under by both, a headlock attempt by Tanjis, and Wirfs had to back out of there in a hurry. We'll see Tanjis is locked up with Wirfs, and he's trying to end this thing in a hurry with a big-time throw. But Tristan Wirfs, the sophomore from Mount Vernon, he's trying to counter that with a little push and shoving of his own. Double collar tie now by Wirfs, retie by Tanjis. Duck under attempt by Tanjis, and Wirfs is going to give him a shove off to the side, and now they're going to start again in the center of the mat. Wirfs trying to measure. Wirfs has a good double leg shot for a big guy. There's an underhook by Tanjis. Over and under now by Wirfs. He's trying to set up a throw. Let's see if he can set up an inside trip here. And Tanjis doing a nice job blocking him off with his head. And Wirfs is going to shove him away and circle back into the center of the mat. Wirfs now in a square stance. Tanji still in that staggered stance, trying to measure Wirfs. There's that double by Wirfs, and he takes Tanji down to the mat. And there's a 2-point takedown.
With authority, too. I tell you what, he just drove. He got in on that double leg, and then he actually ended up not having the double leg. It was more like right around the backside of Tanji's and just sucked him in right off the edge of the mat. And he was driving, that's for sure.
That was a very, very nice job with about 15 seconds left to go. Again, with short time. The Mustangs are doing a great job at that tonight, Jamie. Using the clock to their advantage, scoring at the end of the period. And again, that's something you drill. You get your guys in the room and you got the clock going on some goes on your feet. And, when you got 10 seconds left to go, you blow the whistle, and that's the sign to just get after it. And, the Mustangs are doing that here tonight, scoring a lot of points with short time left to go in the period. All right, we'll see if the big guy from Anamosa, Colby Tanjis, can set up that side roll. We know he's got a good one, but Wirfs is doing a nice job keeping his pressure back, so Tanjis can't set that up. Tanjis going to grab onto the left leg of Wirfs. He's going to try to sit out, turn in, and face him. Got a scramble situation right here. As Tanjis is still latched onto the leg of Wirfs. Might be a 2-point reversal. Referee signaled 2. Wirfs up to his feet. And Tanjis is what a scramble. Tanjis tried to cover up the hips of Wirfs, and Wirfs got up. Now here's that power half Nelson by Wirfs. We saw him work that against Caleb Zezer. He's got the right arm of Tanjis. And Tanjis does a nice job keeping that down. Back to work with Wirfs again. And this time, boy, nice job by Tanjis.
I tell you what, he's doing a good job of every time Wirfs tries to run that, he keeps his hip down. His upper half is going over his upper body, but he's doing a great job of keeping his hips down. I think that's going to do it. That's tight. Now he's got his right shoulder up yet.
And there's the fall right there. 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Colby Tanjis, that's a nice job, Jamie. You're real close to pulling the upset. But Tristan Wirfs, I'll tell you what, we might see a lot out of him in the future. He's been very impressive. He may be your top seed in the WAMAC. I'm not sure that he's lost.
Kid from Independence is Bowers, I would think. No, Linderbaum from Solon.
That's right. That's right. All right, now we're going to move up to weight class 106, or moved down to weight class 106, however you want to call it here. We've got two freshmen going at it. Jack Stryker for the Mustangs, giving up a lot of size to Morgan Rowley from Anamosa. Both of these guys are 1-0 on the night. There's a nice double leg takedown by Stryker in deep, and he's going to try to cover the hips of Rowley. And there's a 2-point takedown by the little guy, and Rowley kicks free, picks up a 1-point escape. As Stryker tried to climb the body and cover the hips. Now a long shot by Rowley in deep. Stryker in a down block. Stryker giving up a lot of size to Morgan Rowley. Again, these wrestlers are weighing 106. Jamie get a 2-pound growth allowance. There's Stryker with a nice down block. He snaps Rowley off to his side. Now goes around the head, under the arm. And tell you what, he tried to slap him to his back, tried to throw him to his back, but he's going to pick up a 2-point takedown out of that, and it's going to be 4-1. So these wrestlers, these 6-pounders, Jamie, you know, you've wrestled. That 2 pounds that growth allowance makes a huge difference.
It really does. You know, you basically suffer through the first half of the season, but once that Christmas break rolls around and you get an opportunity to get your 2-pound allowance after Christmas, and you really take advantage of that. And 2 pounds seems like 7 or 8 sometimes, depending on how many. But the way they have to do it now with the weight cutting, it's a little safer now than it used to be. Even when I was in school, and that was only 9 years ago. But I tell you what, they cut a lot of weight, and those 2 pounds felt like 7 or 8 some days.
And sometimes they even look like it on a wrestler. I'll tell you what. 12 seconds left to go. Stryker hanging on to this 4-1 lead, doing a nice job on Rowley. Morgan Rowley trying to work some hand control, but Jack Stryker doing a great job controlling those hips. Again, all 97 pounds of him, so he's given up over 10 pounds to Morgan Rowley here. That's going to be Rowley's choice. Let's see where he decides to go. He's going to go down. Thought he might go back to his feet, but he looked over to Coach Dean Miller, and Coach Miller is putting him down on the mat. Inside stand-up attempt by Rowley. Nice tight waist chop by Stryker. Granby roll attempt by Rowley. It's going to be a 2-point near fall as Rowley got stuck in the Granby roll. Stryker's going to pick up a 2-point near fall. Now high leg over by Rowley. Rowley might get the 2-point.
He did.
Back. He did. And Rowley trying to work a half Nelson on Stryker on the left side. Stryker doing a nice job keeping the head up and working some hand control. Power half Nelson now by Rowley as he tries to crank that power half Nelson on Stryker. Stryker pulls his head up, frees his head from the half Nelson, and now an inside wrist on the right by Rowley, tight waist on the left. Stryker now with the switch attempt, and Rowley follows him around with a re-switch, and back to action we go. Tight waist now by Rowley, stand-up attempt by Stryker, head lever now by Rowley, and Rowley's doing a nice job using that weight advantage to keep the head and shoulders of Stryker down. Sit out now by Stryker. He tries to turn and face Rowley. Rowley gets a little bit high with his ride. That's going to be a 2-point reversal for Stryker as Rowley gets high. Stryker pops his head out, covers the hips of Rowley, and now he's down around the legs. Rowley trying to kick free. Now a stand-up by Rowley, front trip by Stryker. What a bunch of action here, ladies and gentlemen. A good match between a couple of pretty good freshmen here. And off the edge of the mat we go. Stryker gets up, breathing pretty hard. Again, Stryker filling in for Liam Conroy, the regular 106-pounder for Mount Vernon, and doing an admirable job tonight, giving up a lot of weight.
So what's the score here? 8-3?
I believe it is. And what this is Jamie Rowley being a little bit over-aggressive here, getting a little high riding, and Stryker's just taking advantage of that.
And he was doing a good job of floating and following behind him, but he ended up, again, like you said, just got a little too high, and now Stryker gets a little too high, and now all of a sudden it's going to be a 2-point reversal for Rowley, and it's going to make the score 8-5 here.
So Stryker's got some work to do here. to maintain. That's going to be a hard crossface. Oh, it's going to be
Talboy forgot to go
Talboy
out.
forgot to go out. All right. So we're going neutral. Striker takes a peek over to Coach Vance Light, and Coach Light said, hey, go neutral here. There's that double leg takedown a double leg shot by Striker in deep. Nice down block by Rowley. And again, that weight advantage by Rowley as he went to the down block and fought Striker. Now a throw attempt by Rowley. Striker rolls through. Rethrow by Striker. Striker has Rowley on his back in a headlock. Striker trying to pull Rowley in. He's going to pick up 2 for the takedown. Now he's going to try to drive Rowley back in. Rowley on the white line. Striker trying to take him back in, and high bridge by Rowley is going to get him off the edge of the mat, but that's going to be a 5-point move for the little guy from Mount Vernon. Checking out the Striker fan club to our left. Grandpa and Grandma down from Arlington, Iowa, making a long trip. Mom Amy, an alumnus from Starmont, so we got the whole family down here, Jamie.
And Dad's over. He's not in the corner. He was floating around over here a little bit before, talking to one of the officials down here. I haven't seen where Kent ended up at, but I tell you what, just a great opportunity for the Striker family to see their grandson wrestle here tonight.
Exactly right. The double leg shot, escaped by Rowley. Striker in on a double. And again, that size advantage of Rowley makes it difficult for Striker to finish that shot. Now he's going to switch off to a single.
I did hear, however, I heard Jack's grandpa say that Doug's boy was sick and was not wrestling tonight, so they made the trip here to watch Jack wrestle. And
not only was Doug's boy sick, Alex, but Doug was sick.
Oh, was he really?
Yes, he was. So I'm not sure who's coaching the Linn-Mar Lions tonight. So anyway, it's a family affair. It was like that when the boys wrestled in high school. It's still like that today. They get together over a great sport of wrestling, and it's provided some fantastic memories here. 13-8, Striker up on Rowley. Rowley trying to turn Striker over. Striker's going to go 2-0 on the day, filling in for Liam Conroy. And Rowley will go 1-1, and Ben Litter for West Delaware will be 0-2. So nice solid match. Nice solid match for the little guy from Mount Vernon. That's just a nice job. Picks up a couple of hard-fought matches here tonight at Anamosa.
Certainly is. As we move up to weight class 113, give you a quick recap here as our team score is 33-12 in favor of Mount Vernon right now. Started at 145, a forfeit for Mount Vernon. Wyatt Himes from Anamosa was pinned by Brant Pitlick. 160, Randy Von Buren with a win. Sam Dolan with a win for Anamosa at 170. Dylan Wood from Anamosa was pinned by Bryce Cox. And Tyler Frazier with a 6-1 win. Spencer Heinrichsen from Anamosa was pinned. And heavyweight, Tristan Wirfs from Mount Vernon pinned Colby Tonjes from Anamosa. And then that last match there was Striker and Rowley.
Well, Jamie, now up, we've got an outstanding wrestler from Mount Vernon, Jake Durgan, one of the seniors, and he'll be taking on a sophomore, Will Marsh, for Anamosa. Durgan out early with a takedown and 2 near falls, and he's working an inside wrist on the left side.
He's had 2 takedowns in that first so far.
2 takedowns and a near fall. Well, he's gonna throw Marsh to his back here pretty soon. He's got an inside wrist. He rolled it out to a bar, scooped the head of Marsh. Now he's going to take Marsh to his back. Marsh tries to go to a high bridge and roll through. Durgan's going to tee out, tighten this thing up. And Durgan stepped over the legs, maybe a double spur by Durgan, and he's going to let Marsh roll through and pick up a 2-point near fall there, making the score 10-1.
Surprised Jake Durgan isn't ranked.
Yeah, he's pretty tough at 113. So he's a big 113-pounder, and he's a senior. So you combine those two things, and you've got a great combination. Full size at 113 and a senior, and get opportunity to wrestle a lot of youngsters. And there's the foul right there in 140. Jake Durgan getting the job done. Jake Durgan getting the job done for the Mustangs. And now that makes the score 39-12. And we're going up to weight class 120, and I think Anamosa will forfeit here. I'm not sure that Harry Watson will take the mat. This will be Josh Hansen taking the forfeit at 120. We've not seen Justin Light here tonight. The coach's son, he's a good one. 126. Anamosa will forfeit. Tony Garcia will pick up 6. And that's going to send us up to weight class 132, where Luke Muller, another senior from Mount Vernon, will be taking on Nick Thompson. And out quickly is Muller with a 2-point takedown in about 4.7 seconds. He got in deep on that, cut the corner quickly, covered the hips up. Now he goes right to work on the arms of Nick Thompson. And we'll see what he chooses for a pinning combination here. A hard, tight waist by Muller, and he's working the left side of Thompson. Now he steps over to the right side, picks up an inside wrist, and Thompson rolls the wrist out and covers up. Muller jumps back over to the left side, trying to set up a ball and chain, and we're going to find the edge of the mat. And back to the center we go.
Our team score after all the forfeits is 51-12 in favor of Mount Vernon. So Anamosa is going to lose this dual meet, but I tell you what, a couple opportunities here for some guys to finish this thing off with a couple wins here tonight.
Well, you're right, Jamie, and that's what it's all about. We talked about getting the momentum to get through the rest of January, and then look out come February, because it gets really, really exciting and really, really interesting. Inside wrist now by Muller. He's going to roll it out. Inside wrist on the left. He rolls it out to the bar, scoops that arm, goes around the head. He's got Thompson on his back. Thompson tries the high bridge out of it. Muller tees out. I've been impressed with this Muller here, Jamie. He's a senior. He's going to pick up the second win tonight. That's a very, very nice job by the senior from Mount Vernon, as Nick Thompson not pleased about his effort and does not want to shake the hand of the Mustang there, but the referee calls him back, and handshake there, and we're back to final match of the night, I believe. Weight class 138, we're going to see Ryan Muller. No, we're not.
It's going to be Levi Wade again.
Levi Wade. You got Levi Wade listed at 152.
I can't imagine what he's going through trying to cut all that weight to go from 52 to 38 tonight.
38,
Woo!
Wow. He must have had his running shoes on all day. So for the Red Raiders at weight class 138, we have Logan Seeley. He's a freshman, a fine freshman at that. But Wade in on a single, inside single. He's got the left leg of Seeley picked up, and now he's trying to front trip. Nice whizzer by Seeley. Got the whizzer in deep, and we're going to go off the edge of the mat. Mustang coaching staff encouraging their young man to.
The Blue Raiders.
I just keep saying Red Raiders. I do. You know why? The Northwestern Red Raiders, of which my family spent 6 years up there. We got in the habit of saying Red Raiders. So anytime I hear Raider, it just happens to be Red Raiders. But we'll try to correct that for the rest of the
What
evening.
I think I'll do is I'll cover up the red, so you just keep seeing the blue here.
Blue.
There you go. I didn't catch it that time. It was the Blue Raider alum here that caught the.
That's an easy Freudian slip, and of course I don't want to offend our Blue Raider alumnus that's making his guest appearance. We tried to get him on for some hold-by-hold action.
I think the last match would have been a perfect time for him to just get on and broadcast it play-by-play here. But
well, I would just like to get his. That's the second dual meet that he's been to with us. If I'm going to give him my headsets, and you could just talk to him a little bit, Jamie, about what his approach to wrestling is, and how exciting it is, and
I don't think we want to know John's approach to wrestling.
Well,
what
sure
his approach to wrestling is. I mean,
there's a guy that does basketball about 99.9% of his time, and we finally get him to a couple of wrestling meets where we can see the real action, and we're close. He's feeling it. He's starting to feel it.
Yeah, I think we get. I think we get him to a couple more, and he learns the terminology. He can hear the official and what all the calls are tonight. As we've got a great official for that. So I tell you what, he's going to have her figured out by the end of the year.
Well, he will be right along beside us with all the hold by hold action. All right, Levi Wade picks up a 2-point takedown as time expires here, and he's going to take an early lead. That was a nice double shot by Wade, got in deep, and finally picked the points up after a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of short shots. He finally got in deep on a long shot, made it count. And Seeley right now, Logan Seeley up on top, and he throws a hard crossface from right to left, right across that cheek of Levi Wade. And Levi Wade says he's not going to take any of that as he hits a switch on Seeley, picks up 2-point reversal, now goes up 4-0. And we have 1:36 left to go in the second period. Now a cradle by Levi Wade. He might have it locked up, far side cradle. And let's see if he can lock that up. He might be taking Seeley to his back. Seeley kicks free. Wade relocks it up. And one more kick by Seeley, and he breaks the grip. Now hard crossface. Wade's got the crossface cradle locked up again. Let's see if he can dump Seeley to his back. He does. Logan Seeley on his back. Levi Wade trying to tighten that up. He's got a hard crossface in. That might be the foul right there, Jamie. In 2 minutes and 55 seconds. And our referee slapped the mat. I'm not so sure that Seeley was buried as he was rocking back and forth, but our referee slapped the mat, and I'm telling you what, that's going to end this duel. Let's take a short break. Jamie's got to add up all of our tallies tonight. Then we'll be back with a couple final comments. Stay with us. You won't want to miss Jamie's recap. Here from Anamosa High School, Womack Wrestling action on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH.
Welcome back into Anamosa High School one final time here tonight as their final duel is in the books for you here tonight as the Anamosa Raiders fall to Mount Vernon. Final score 63-12 in favor of the Mustangs. As we started this duel at weight class 145, Charlie Engelbrecht from Mount Vernon picked up a forfeit. That put the Mustangs up 6-0. Then it was Brant Pitlick from Mount Vernon with a fall in 1 minute 30 seconds over Wyatt Himes from Anamosa. Weight class 160, the Blue Raiders got on the board with Randy Von Buren winning that match 13-7. 4 takedowns in that match by Randy Von Buren as he defeats Jake Whelan. That made it 12-3. And then at weight class 170, Sam Dolan defeated Jack Cochran by fall in 1 minute and 56 seconds. 1 takedown and took him to his back and got the fall. That made it 12-9. At weight class 182, Bryce Cox from Mount Vernon with a fall in 2 minutes and 21 seconds over Dylan Wood from Anamosa. That made it 18-9. And then Tyler Frazier with a 6-1 win over John Boots from Mount Vernon. That made it 18-12. At 220, Matt Wenzel from Mount Vernon with a fall over Spencer Heinrichsen of Anamosa in 4 minutes and 16 seconds. Heavyweight, Tristan Wirfs from Mount Vernon with a fall over Colby Tangis of Anamosa in 3 minutes and 18 seconds. That made the score 30-12. At 106, it was Jack Stryker with a 13-8 win over Morgan Rowley from Anamosa. That made it 33-12. At 113, Will Marsh losing by fall to Jake Durgan from Mount Vernon. That made in 1 minute 40 seconds. And then at 120 and 126, the Blue Raiders gave up forfeits. At 120, it was Josh Hansen from Mount Vernon. At 126, it was Tony Garcia. At 132, Luke Muller from Mount Vernon with a fall in 1 minute 12 seconds over Nick Thompson from Anamosa. And to finish the duel off, it was Levi Wade of Mount Vernon with a fall in 2 minutes and 55 seconds over Logan Seeley, making our final team score 63-12, a duel that lasted 50 minutes, just under an hour for tonight. On some match totals, no major decisions or tech falls for either team. Takedowns, Mount Vernon had 14, Anamosa had 10. 7 pins for Mount Vernon, 1 for Anamosa, and Mount Vernon won 11 matches, Anamosa winning just 3. So we saw some good WAMAC action here tonight, Roger, as we saw a duel earlier with West Delaware Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon able to knock off West Delaware for the first time in quite a few years. 46-24, the score of that one. And so the Hawks walk out of here 1-1 as they came back and defeated Anamosa 51-30 in that dual meet. So West Delaware goes 1-1, Anamosa 0-2, Mount Vernon 2-0. But again, just 2 more teams that you and I get to see as you're kind of you're the proctor for that seeding meeting in a couple weeks, and that it helps to see these teams late in the season because you got a pretty good idea when a coach comes in and wants to fight for a kid. You say, well, I saw him lose that match down there at Anamosa, or why didn't your kid wrestle at Anamosa, and stuff like that. Sitting kids out, and tonight we saw that in a couple spots, and it'll be interesting to see in a couple weeks what coaches are fighting for what at that WAMAC seeding meeting.
Well, they're looking at that. They're looking ahead. As a coach, you're always looking to the next meet, the next big thing that's coming, and we saw that last year, and we'll see that every year. You sit out, maybe you don't wrestle, so you don't have the opportunity to win or lose. So what do you do at the seeding meeting? Well, you argue and you fight, you try to stick up for your kid, and a lot of times it ends in a draw. So you just assume, Jamie, I'm just assuming you get them out there on the mat, you wrestle them, and you let them settle it out there. And we'll see that here in about 9 days as the WAMAC tournament will be hosted by Western Dubuque. Tonight we saw Mount Vernon do what we talked about on the way down. They came in and they pinned people, and we knew in that first duel with Mount Vernon and West Delaware, it would come down to who got the most pins and who did not get pinned, but who got the pins. And Mount Vernon got the job done in that first duel. We saw them do it again here against Anamosa, winning 7 matches and getting some falls in the way. And that's what good teams do. They find a way to throw their opponent on the back, and they end up with the falls. And that's just good wrestling. Again, a lot of good wrestling tonight. There's some quality wrestlers here. We will see some of these wrestlers as they progress through the course of the season, and we'll probably see even a few of them at the state meet here in about 3.5 short weeks. So, Jamie, WAMAC action is always good. We like to step out and see some new teams. We saw Anamosa tonight, Mount Vernon, and a couple of nice duels. And we talked about Mount Vernon on the way down, a very solid dual meet team. I'm not sure how good a tournament team is. I don't know how many of their guys are going to be in the top. We're not sure about that, but they've got a very, very solid dual meet team and they're able to score a lot of points because they've got great depth and great balance, and we witnessed that here tonight.
Well, the guy that was just up here talking to Swish said they had 5 guys out of their lineup tonight with illness. So, and to still be able to walk away out of these 2 duels tonight with a 46-24 win over West Delaware and a 63-12 win over Anamosa, that just shows that depth. Well, you and I are off this weekend, but tomorrow night we've got West Delaware girls basketball at Central DeWitt with John Swisher and Corey Coates. And you and I, like I mentioned, we're off Saturday. We've got one more dual meet before we head into the postseason, as next week West Delaware will host Independence. I believe it's at Seedorf Gymnasium. I don't think it's at the old gym. I haven't heard for sure. I've asked. It is at the old gym. It's in the old gym next Saturday. So we get to sweat it out in the old Hawks Nest next Thursday night as the West Delaware Hawks host Independence, another WAMAC dual meet. And then Saturday we're at the WAMAC tournament at Western Dubuque that week. And then we're done with weekdays, and we're on to the sectionals, districts, and state tournaments. So 3 very short weeks away.
Hey, Jamie, there's no better place to wrestle that dual meet than to wrestle that in the old gym. Get the temperature up, get the crowd frenzied, and you never know. We've seen crazy things happen in that Independence West Delaware duel, and that's just going to be a great atmosphere. That small gym, the old hot box, there's not a better place in Northeast Iowa to wrestle a dual meet, and I can't wait for that dual meet. It's always a barn burner, and there's no love lost between either schools. Great rivalry, great wrestling. We're going to see some highly anticipated matches, and you know what? That's always expect the unexpected when the Independence and West Delaware wrestling teams get together.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage here tonight. We'd like to thank the sponsors of high school wrestling and our extra sponsors for the Anamosa Raiders here tonight, and all of our sports boosters. Thank Janelle Tucker back at the station running the board for us this evening, and thank you, the listeners. That's going to do it. Our final scores tonight: Mount Vernon defeats West Delaware 46-24. West Delaware defeated Anamosa 51-30, and then Mount Vernon knocks off Anamosa 63-12. For my partner Roger Reed, this is Jamie Vaskey. Have yourselves a great evening, everybody. You've been listening to High School Wrestling on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH.